Well, I'm just going to go ahead and get going, and hopefully we'll have a few more join us along the way. And I just want to say welcome. I'm excited that the people that are here, and maybe we'll grow by a few more before this is over. And I'll just introduce myself. I am Jim Dane, and I am the K-Kids District Administrator for Nebraska-Iowa. And we are just thrilled to have you. And I'll let Sue introduce herself.
Okay, I'm Sue Waldron, and I am the Builders District Administrator. And Jim and I kind of work together, so that's why we were going to have 2 nights to try to make it more available. But so he's in Iowa, I'm in Nebraska, so we kind of, trade off if we need to. So everybody's covered if they need a Builders or a K-Kids.
Yeah. Well, I am a Builders Club advisor, so I can probably fill in for Sue over on this part of the district. And Sue knows enough about K-Kids. She does a very good job on that side of the district, so it works out really well. I also want to introduce that we have 2 special guests here with us from Kiwanis International, and just recognize them now, but I'll let them talk to you later. Lisa Pyron has been part of the Kiwanis since 1993. I'm sorry, Lisa, you just told me that, so I'm going to broadcast it. And has been with the Service Leadership Program since 2000. So she really has a lot of history that we can lean on. And I didn't start bugging her till about 2009, and she was answering all my questions back then. And here she still is. And then Luana Nissen was in the picture and is out of the picture for right now, but we will hear from her. There she is.
There she
Luana is the Service Leadership Program Manager for K-Kids Builders and Action Club for Kiwanis International. And Lisa's title is the Kiwanis Youth Program Development Specialist for Kiwanis International. So I'm really thrilled that they're here tonight, and it gives some expertise to what would have been a lot of just talking, but we'll get to them in a little bit. I'm going to go around, and I want to keep this fairly short. I mean, really short. Just tell us how long you've been an advisor, the name of the club you're advising, and what drives your passion about SLP, whichever it is, K-Kids Builders, maybe it's Action. So I'll start with that just as an example. And again, I've been an advisor of K-Kids from 2009 through about 2020 when COVID started. Unfortunately, the Iowa City school system has deemed it appropriate that we not go into the school buildings since COVID started. They're trying to limit what happens. But we turned around and we started a Builders Club a year ago. And so this is my 2nd year as a Builders Club administrator. And we had the Lemmy Leopard K-Kids Club, also the Hoover Hawks K-Kids Club, and then now we have the Northwest Junior High Builders Club. And what really drives me, I don't know, it's the kids. And I could cite, the lemonade stands, the painting of the playground. We painted the map of the United States on the playground at the elementary school. We built a library book house. We've done many different projects, and each year they all step up, and they take so much pride in that accomplishment. So that's what drives me. And I'll move on next. I think we'll jump to Erin.
Hi, I'm Erin Almeline. I'm in Washington, Iowa. I have the Washington Middle School Builders Club group. I've been advising them for 6 years. I was helping Kurt Mayer while he was advisor for a little bit, but then fully took over, I would say within the past 4 years, maybe. And then, I teach at the middle school. I grew up here in Washington, so it's kind of like full circle. So it's great to see the middle schoolers step up and help lead things. So it's fun to see them outside of school and in a different element too. So just stepping up in that way.
I'm going to skip to Rachel and give us a little bit about your background.
Sure. I was a
Key Club advisor for about 8 years prior to moving to Fairfield. And when we moved here, I joined Kiwanis and wanted to start a builders club and a Key Club here. So we started with the middle school, and we're really just very new, just getting that off the ground right now. We had a recruiting meeting, and we have our first official meeting on February 14th. So new to this age level, but I do have a middle school son. I was a teacher for 12 years and really enjoy working with kids, and would love to see them in the community and really giving back to their home. And I would like to see them continue at the high school level, and then, you know, they go away to college, they come back. I'd like to see them be Kiwanis members as well.
Excellent, excellent. I'm just going to go around on my screen. Emily is next.
I'm Emily Wagman. I am an advisor at the Fremont Middle School in Nebraska. And we also, there's 2 different schools from 5th and 6th. There's a JCAC and a middle school. And we do the same kind of club in 2 different schools this year. Otherwise, they were all meeting together. But 5th through 8th grade is a big range right now. So we split them up. So I have been doing that since my daughter was a middle schooler. And so 2018 or 19, I believe, is when I started as an advisor. I went through the first whole 2020 thing, so I didn't really get my feet on the ground right away. My passion about the SLPs, I think, is just their energy. They just really want to help their community. And we have a big project every year, pretty much for the most part. And so their excitement, it gets me excited. And you're right, just to kind of see them grow through the ages and how they're excited to get to Key Club, and they'll be future Kiwanians someday. So that's what gets me excited about SLPs.
Thanks, Emily. Linda's next to my screen. There.
Okay, here I am, Linda Plachek. I'm an SLP advisor for K-Kids Club at Conestoga Elementary School in Northeast Omaha. I've been doing this, I want to say, I haven't recovered from COVID yet. No, just kidding. Probably 6 or 7 years. We have 4th through 6th graders in our club. And I am amazed also at the empathy that our children have for other children. So our projects this year revolve around doing things for the Open Door Mission population. They have 150 children that reside there with their parent. And as well as right now we're doing some things for Rainbow House for the children and families who are in residence there while medical issues are being dealt with the children. But I like to see kids empowered, and I like to see them realize that they have this power and they can make a difference. I think that's something that gets overlooked sometimes. So that's who I am. That's what I do.
Thanks, Linda. I'm going to jump to Carolyn next.
Carolyn Law, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good, because my mute isn't showing. It isn't showing that I'm talking. I have been I was been Key Club and K Kids, and now I'm only with K Kids. My Key Club, we couldn't find an advisor and keep it up. I was there for about 5 years, but K Kids I have been working with for 14 years at Walnut Creek Elementary in Papillion. And I have an excited group of children. Their faculty advisor is wonderful. So they do many service projects. We just completed Valentine's for Vets. They are now involved in organizing with the Heart Association, a program where they are on TV and they gather money. It's a service project. They're around, I think, about 42 of the kids in the Key Club, and we have many who have returned until they're 6th graders and leave us, but they start in 4th grade. I'm an retired elementary teacher and principal, so I love working with children, and I'm always excited about this group who want to serve others.
Thanks, Carolyn. Appreciate it. Next is Rick.
Yeah, I'm Rick Rohan. I wished I had a real tale to tell you about my involvement with K Kids. I've only been about 3 or 4 times up at the Ponca Elementary School here in Omaha. I went with Steve Hamilton. Hamilton is the one who's actually runs that project. But I was amazed at how excited those little guys are when they do stuff, whether it's making uh, Valentines for the 3 homes there in Florence area, or making well, I think one year we took they made turkeys and stuff that we took up to the children's hospital, and they people up there were very glad to get them. But I don't have any real experience other than just that. So I'm kind of in here trying to find out what everybody else is doing.
Glad to have you, Rick. This is the right place. So,
Thank you.
all right, I jumped all over the place here, but I did not introduce our governor. So I want to go next to Dale Doudna, who's this year our governor for Nebraska-Iowa.
Thanks, Jim. I'm happy to be here. I don't have any K Kids or Builders experience either. But as I said at the convention last year, we got to build new clubs so that my grandkids can be in Builders Club in the Gretna area and also in the Grimes area in Iowa. So I'm a big supporter of the SLPs. I think Kiwanis clubs are strengthened when they have SLPs, and in turn, their community is strengthened. So I'm happy to be here and just kind of listening in.
Well, thanks for coming, Dale. We're glad to have you, and we're glad for your support. This is wonderful. I was going to introduce Brian Wells, our vice governor, but I think he's an automated AI assistant, according to the chat message. So we'll pass on that unless he pops in. But next, I want to go to Lisa Pyron, and I think you have a K Kids Club, right?
Well, we had a K Kids Club at College Park Elementary, and absolutely love it. And I'm with you. What happened was after COVID, they shut down, and the advisor moved to a new school, and we're going to start a K Kids Club at the new elementary school, and our Kiwanis Club is sponsoring that. But at the previous K Kids Club, it was just seeing the kids help each other and brainstorm and come up with wonderful ideas, and they were just so excited about helping and making a difference. And, they had a job. They were K Kids, and they let everyone know, I'm a K Kids member and I'm in this club. And this is what we do. So that was kind of neat. They're very proud of being a member of K Kids.
And I want to jump to Luana. I don't know if you have an SLP club, but maybe. Oh, you're muted. We're not hearing you. All right. Well, we'll try to get that fixed, and we'll come back, okay? I'm not sure what's going on there, but anyway, I wanted to jump into, and Lisa, if it's possible, I could share my screen. That'd be great. Maybe you gave me that permission.
Yeah, it's free for anybody to share, Jim.
Okay. I want to talk about a little bit about annual youth protection training. And I guess I won't share right yet. Let me put that away. I just mentioned this, of all people, I would think the people that have, or the clubs that have SLP, active SLPs, would be the ones that would have done the annual training. The annual training is supposed to be accomplished once a year. Usually we like to see it done in October, and then it's done for the year. There are online resources. I have a 24-minute narrated video that would go through the slides, slides in a PDF that we used in our club. However you do it, but we need to go through that training. And the last information we received from KI, only 27 clubs out of 143 or 144, whatever we are, have completed and annotated that training. And I checked, and several of the people in this room, their clubs don't have it annotated yet. So that is something really need to get done. And I would like to encourage you to make sure your club is on that list. If you have a question, you can certainly reach out to me. I imagine, well, Linda Plachek has the master list, and she would get it squared away. And we've found that, many clubs, I don't know many, but at least several clubs have completed the training. They just haven't had the club secretary go in and check that mark. And we just had a division council meeting in our Division 14 on Monday night. And sure enough, one of the clubs, we've done the training. Well, you got to check it off. So 27 out of 143 is kind of disappointing. I mean, not kind of. SLPs, I mean, Kiwanis is all about kids. It's really critical. And that's what I wanted to review with you guys just a little bit. And I know I'm preaching to the choir, but I'll share my screen here maybe. Let's see. And, the reason we do this training, you'll see the statistic. I've seen that 1 in 4 girls are impacted with abuse, and 1 in 13, I've even seen a statistic, 1 in 6 boys. And that's just way too many. And we need to do everything we can. And I mean, it basically comes down to these 3 things: privacy, access, and control. And access is because we're Kiwanians, we get access to these kids when we're in our SLP program. Our club has the scout program. We have kids all the time coming to our meetings. And control, because we are adults and they are kids, we have control. So privacy is a big, big deal. And I'm sure you guys are fully aware, if you see anything suspicious, you need to speak up. You cannot look the other way. It is incumbent on us to be watching for this. And I don't need to say too much about it, but I just want to make sure that this word gets out to all our members, because I mean, it's the kids. They're our most precious resource. We certainly don't want to endanger that. We could talk about the money it cost us on insurance and all that sort of thing, but I really don't care about that part. I care about the kids. So I just pass that on and not say too much more about it. But check with your club secretary. Make sure that you are up to speed on that annual training. Again, every October, that is something that we should do, and it just should be automatic. And you as SLP advisors are probably in the best position to be giving that training. If you have a youth protection person in your club, they can lead the training, but this is something that needs to get done. I also wanted to talk a little bit about background checks. And I was enlightened earlier this afternoon. I thought I knew everything there was about background checks, but let me share this. Let's see if I can bring this up. And I think we'll try this. If I get to this tab, that's not it. Let's try. Oh, I'm not getting there. Let's try this just a second. Sorry about that. Thought this would go easy. Here it is. Try this. So in October 2022, I believe this is the latest youth protection policy. And if you come down to clear history background checks, let's see. Okay, right, yeah, the first sentence, Kiwanis International, if I don't know if I can highlight that, I can't, but Kiwanis International requires club to have clear criminal history background check for any club member serving as an advisor to any service leadership program. My understanding was that the primary club advisor to a service leadership program was required to have the background check. But if you had other members in the club or parents or Circle K members, Key Club members, anybody else coming and assisting, as long as the primary member had the background check, you were okay. But I am mistaken. I am led. As of October 2022, anybody in your club that walks into a school or with the scouts, whether they're at your club meeting or you're away from the school somewhere, and with kids, the background check needs to be completed. I know that's a big bill to pay. That's $35 now. They raised the dues to 30, or raised the fee to $35. But, and that's a 2-year background check. But, and I am told that the cost of a background check is more like $85 to Kiwanis International, and it's being subsidized. So we're really only paying for like a third of it. But this is something that we're going to have to change in our club. Anybody that's helping with an SLP, it could be Builders or it could be Action, Key Club, any of them, they need the $35 background check. And not only that, let me see if I can get back to the other. You want to have them go through the Presidium training. I have to jump back. I'm doing too much lecturing, but maybe I just want to hit on this. And if I put in, so this is it, and I need to hit the share screen. Not easy. And this is the Presidium Academy training, and this is only available to those that have done the background check. You don't even get to go there unless you have a Kiwanis background check. But for Builders Club, this middle column, I don't know if you can see my pointer, but I'm looking at the first 6 courses of Builders Club. They are the courses you need to go through. And I completed my courses the other night. I should have done them sooner, but I do have them done now. And I will say some of these are just, I mean, they're all excellent, but it happened to me. They have actual video. I mean, they could be actors, but they look like kids that have been through abuse. And just to see the impact that abuse has on them is just, it's really mind opening. And it's, it just makes the point how much we need to protect these kids. For K kids, it's this third column. These are the courses that you need to go through with the Presidium background courses. And each one maybe 15 or 20 minutes, maybe not even that long. They're all excellent. And I would highly encourage you to complete those courses. So I just wanted to point that out and talk a little bit about the annual youth protection training, the need for the background check, and then the Presidium Academy training. Now I've done all the talking. I gotta let Linda talk. Sorry.
Okay, I want to say to those of you who serve as SLP advisors that you just do an excellent job in getting those background checks done. I get a monthly report, and rarely do I have 1 or 2 names on there, someone who has just got too busy, didn't get it done. And then they right away, when I let them know about this, thanks for the reminder, I'll get it done today. And they do. And so in our district, we're doing very well, very, very well with getting our background checks done. And so I feel like the next step for all of us, as Jim said, is the Presidium Academy courses that are available. They're available because it's just like club training. The more information you have, the better you're going to do the job. And if you get in a position where a child is or teen is sharing something with you that maybe you're not equipped to handle, or you need just more background on and how to handle it, that's why these courses are so important to all of us. So if you haven't done them yet, I advise you,
Didn't even know about it.
let's make that your goal. That's the next thing we want to have done are those Presidium courses. They last for 2 years. And then if you're still doing an SLP job, you're asked to refresh your course and take them again because things change all the time. And kids' lives are changing all the time. So we need to be ready. So that's my spiel. I'm done.
Thanks, Linda. I'm going to call on Luana or maybe Lisa. Or can you talk, Luana? Are you got sound? Maybe not. I
think,
oh,
yeah, she's having problems with her
yeah.
volume.
Okay. Well, I just thought maybe there's a little bit more to hear about these courses, but I think we did cover it, and I really would encourage you. They are excellent. The course Meet Sam is an actual abuser, and he just talks about why he did it, and those people are out there. It's I mean, I'm glad he did it, but it's just scary. So I would really encourage you to go through those courses. Any questions about background checks or youth protection? I think we probably spent enough time on it. Now I want to move on to talk a little bit about information from Kiwanis International about the builders and K-Kids. And I'll just say this to begin with, I 14 years, 15 years as a K-Kids member, and I'm afraid I have not used the resources that are available, as much as I should have. And I figured the way I've always done it is I'm going to run my K-Kids like a small Kiwanis club. We start with the Pledge of Allegiance. We do the pledge. We do a secretary's report. We do treasurer's report, and then we have committees and we have projects. We have fundraisers, and we ask the committees to go out and research where the needs are, research where the opportunities are for fundraisers, come back, discuss it, come up with a plan, and then execute it. And that's basically what we do in our Kiwanis Club. And that's what I've been doing with my K-Kids for all those years. Well, the last couple of years, and this year, actually last year, the new K-Kids information is now online. And 2 years ago, the new Builders Club information was put online. There are these toolkits, and I just want people to know how to find them, where to start, how to use them, and what they are. And so I was asking Luana and asking Lisa to talk a little bit about it, and I'm not sure we have Luana back.
Yeah, I think she's, I can start. I'm going to share my screen, and then I was going to talk about awards, but Luana wanted me to share about that. And then we'll see if her volume isn't back on, we can go and let Luana talk about resources, or I can show where those are. But this is, everything. We're trying to make sure that everything is available to you on the website. And under this main navigation of resources, you will find awards and recognition. And this year we're rolling out some fun things. So we have reinstated contests for K-Kids and for Builders Club. The deadline for submitting contests is April 1. Everything is submitted online. And really, it's coming directly to Kiwanis International, and our group is judging. So the district administrators aren't asked to do a lot with this. It's coming to us to judge. But I thought what I would do is open up this K-Kids contest guide for you to see. It comes to this landing page. You download and it opens up. and it tells you about the categories. So we've got some of the old, I don't know if you remember these, Jim, speech, poster, scrapbook, and
Yeah.
club video, which is really fun. And then we also have a way to honor those who've done outstanding work, including the club. The annual achievement report is all about doing specific things within the club to be recognized. So there are things we tell you should work on. And then people that go above and beyond, a distinguished club officer or a distinguished advisor, you can nominate them, and they're very simple forms. So first, I just want you to see in this guide, you can go through and see what the judging criteria is. So it helps you in preparing. You see what the topic is. This is the speech is all about what happens in the club to make a K-Kids feel that they belong. That's kind of neat. So it gets them thinking. Poster. This is kind of interesting. We're asking the club to present a poster that they've already used in a service project to advocate. So it's not something they work on separately. They've done a service project. It's done. Submit it for an award. The next thing is scrapbook contest. Now we don't want them to send anything in to us. We're asking them to create digital scrapbooks, whether that's creating an old-fashioned type of scrapbook and then videotaping or taking photographs and uploading it to make it easy for us. And then we can share with others online, or whether it's creating a scrapbook in Canva and then sending that to us. Video contest is all about promoting your club and sharing with us what's going on. So we can use that as a promotional video for K-Kids. And, that's it for contests. But the handy thing about this guide, you can click through and you're at the entry form. Super easy peasy. You enter your information and there's information at the bottom you upload. If you're going to provide a photograph, you want to provide a release so that we can use that photograph. So it's kind of neat that each one of these, goes right to the award that you're interested in. So that's just a little bit about awards. And let me see if Luana is back yet. Luana, can we hear you yet?
Can you all hear me?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. I tried multiple pairs of headphones. That didn't work. I guess it just took rebooting. So everyone can hear me just fine.
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. I was really fully with you before, but now I'm even more fully.
Well, I'm going to stop sharing so you can start talking about things.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
I sort of led into you to talk about a little bit about the toolkits and how we can use them. I mentioned that Builders Club was redone a couple years ago, and then this past year K-Kids was redone.
Great.
And now you got all this information, and we need to know how to get there.
Thank you, Jim. Well, I missed the introduction, so let me just share a little bit with you. For the teachers who are in the room, I was essentially a director, a community service learning and leadership director in a couple of different K-12 schools. I was the faculty sponsor for a service and service learning club in our high school, and then I taught a middle school class called How to Save a Life. So I've been in the youth service, youth philanthropy, and youth leadership field since 1995 in different roles as a researcher and a curriculum writer and all kinds of things. So I am not a Kiwanis advisor. So I lean on Lisa for her real experience and her really long experience in developing these programs from the start. So Jim's right, we revised the Builders Club materials last year, or the year before this year, I'm sorry, last year. And then the K-Kids materials for this service year. One of the intentions in the revision was to kind of beef up the learning aspect and the skill building aspect of the program. So what are schools really interested in? What are superintendents and principals interested in schools? There's really a lot of focus on kids' sense of belonging and sense of social emotional health. There's always been, but is a particularly strong focus, we know, on leadership, and also on skill building. And so it is a real selling point for for Kiwanis International to be able to say to school leaders what we kind of already know about really good youth service and leadership, that kids put skills into action and they also build skills. But we were also interested in making sure that we were encouraging advisors and officers to help kids help the students in the clubs explore what they were interested in. What they were interested in their community, and also what talents they had that they could put to use through the clubs. So we've been really intentional in the rewriting to make sure that there are some useful tools in the member guide for K-Kids and the member and officer toolkit for Builders Club. We also wanted to encourage advisors, encourage the students to see all students as leaders, not just the officers, right? And encourage advisors to create more committees so that there could be chair positions. So it creates more formal leadership positions, as well as giving kids who are really interested in certain things like design and art, or public speaking, or recruiting, things like that, putting their skills into action and letting them, as many members as possible find a place in their clubs. So, but knowing that these tools had to be useful, we added, we made sure that there were forms in there that you could easily open up. So I'm just going to take you for about 4 or 5 minutes through the curriculum, through the different pieces. And I say curriculum loosely, but do want to emphasize that learning is a part of our students' experiences. So let me share my screen. So here we have the K-Kids homepage. I'm sorry, the K-Kids homepage. And here is the advisor. I'm sorry, I had to shut everything down. So give me 1 second to make sure that I've got up what I need to. Up here. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So here is the member guide for K-Kids. The K-Kids guides, the member, advisor, and service guides are quite interconnected. And so I'm going to encourage you to take a look at the advisor guide at the beginning of the year. You're kind of already on the way this year, but we've intentionally designed it so that there's at the beginning of the advisor guide and the service guide, there are tools to plan the year. If you elect your officers in the spring or at the end of the school year, we encourage you to meet with them and kind of set up a plan for the new year, or at least meet with them at the very beginning of the school year. And at the beginning of the advisor guide, actually to help you plan things out, there's a quick start guide. It's just a 2 pages with kind of the key highlights of what we recommend an advisor do. And there's a timing column as well to say at the beginning of the year, this would be the time to do this. In the middle of the year or throughout the year, this is, some things might be ongoing, but you might do throughout the year. But most of these things are beginning of the year or throughout the year. Okay, so an example of these things would be training your club members, like you would do that at the beginning of the year, or your officers. Evaluating members' learning and growth. You might do that kind of at the end of the year and at the beginning of the year, and they could be involved in that. Some of these things you may find, okay, it's too much. These are the things I'm going to focus on this year, but some of them are really, are things that you may already do in different ways, like saying thank you. letting people know who help out as volunteers, and that are involved in your clubs, letting them know that you appreciate them. That's good role modeling, and you probably have your members do that, but it's a formal way of you being able to kind of go through and check things off. Having an installation ceremony for your new officers. For new clubs, going through the policies and procedures. Jim was talking about quite a bit about youth protection. One of the kind of important things is that unlike a lot of other youth organizations, we offer our clubs are covered by liability insurance. And the liability insurance kicks in once you leave campus. It protects you and it protects your members. It is one of the reasons that we require you to complete background check, or your chaperones and you to complete background checks if you're leaving campus. And it's also the reason that we have you go through Presidium training. It is the way to keep the insurance reasonable, because there is a pretty substantial cost. So anyway, there's the quick start guide. At the beginning of the service toolkit, and this is the service guide, I'm sorry, for K-Kids, there's also a service plan. So you can take a look at the service activities and the member activities and decide what the officers are going to lead. One of the reasons that we provide, let's take a look at just one of the plans. This is exploring with interviews. How many of you advisors actually have people come in and speak to your members about community issues? Jim, I see you raising your hand, and I'm sorry, I can't see everyone because of the presentation mode. But I know a lot of clubs do have speakers come in. Well, this just gives the officers a way to go step by step and actually lead the activity themselves. One of the things that we focused on, and that that Kiwanis Service Leadership Programs stand for, is student leadership, right? It's the students leading our clubs, not the advisors leading the clubs. So this allows them step by step to go through and lead the activities. Of course, they need your help. Kind of complex, but some of the notes are, it's step, first you do this, then you do this. And by the way, at the beginning, there's a supply list. What supplies will you need for this particular activity? But then there's a form that you can photocopy and hand out to your members so that they can actually learn to take notes. That's a real, you're teaching them a skill there. And they're also going to remember things. Mapping the community is something that a lot of clubs do. So that activity is in there. And if you already do that, check and see if what we're recommending you do, you might get some ideas from that. Also, in some of these activities, we found ways to get them up out of their seats and kind of writing on the walls, or kind of getting up out of their seats and being active, right, while they're doing these activities. So that they're not all sitting. So in the K-Kids member guide, there are corresponding activities. It starts with the students learning about themselves. They learn goal setting, which is a big life skill, right? So you're teaching them how to write those goals down and come back to them at the end of the year and check to see if they met their goals. So there are, I would say, you want to take a look at the service guide and the member guide together, because some of these things correspond. Like interviewing an expert corresponds to the interview activity in the service guide. So anyway, this is K-Kids, and for Builders Club, it's the same. I'm sorry, it's the same kind of thing where the service guide is written with activities kind of outlined how to do brainstorming. Like, this is the brainstorming activity. What materials will you need? What will the members learn from it? What will it allow them to do? And then how to lead the activity. So again, that your officers can be leading the activities. I would say one thing about about the service guide. The full activities are online. They're not all printed in the guide. So you can download them and just print them from the website for those that are not completely in the physical guide that you get. The advisor toolkit again has that 2-page document, the quick start guide, to kind of just give you a checklist. And then the member and officer toolkit, this year we combined the officer materials, the officer guides with the member guide so that all members could see what does a president need to do. Maybe I'll run for that next year. I'll want to be elected. So anyway, there are a number of things that they can write about in the member and officer toolkit as well. So there are blocks where they can actually keep notes, and that the activities correspond. So just kind of giving you a sense of what we've done and created, and hope that you do think about using these resources. Maybe not all of them, of course, not all the activities, but what makes the most sense for you. I did want to mention that there are forms for some of the K-Kids activities in the service guide. There's like let me just find an example, sorry. There are forms, like there's a form for a donation drive. Like, how do you create a plan for a donation drive or a donation event? How do you create a plan for a fundraising event? And so they can, or some type of a fundraising activity that's not an event, like they're having a bake sale would be an event, but raising money and kind of doing a pitch and asking for donations would be an activity, right? And so how do you, what kind of information do you need to capture so that everyone knows what they need to know when they're telling the story of what's being sold and what are the goals, or what's being, what the fundraising cause is, and what's the goal for the activity. So there are some forms that can be used that are really useful. Like, how do you, like giving your marketing committee a marketing plan document so they can stay organized. The annual achievement report, Lisa, which Lisa mentioned, Jim, just 1 second. Lisa mentioned annual achievement report, and the annual achievement report does give you points for finishing, for instance, the quick start guide in the advisor toolkit or the advisor guide. Jim, you had a question?
Yes. So are these websites are safe? Can we just tell our K-Kids to go on KiwanisKids.org and find the member and officer guide or the service guide? And they
I'm so sorry I didn't. Yes, I'm so sorry I didn't mention that. So the program kit that all clubs receive when after the renewal fee is paid, the program kit includes enough member guides for all members, or as many members as the count that is given by the Kiwanis Club secretary when the renewal fee is paid. They have to enter a member count. And so the advisors communicating with the Kiwanis Club secretary is really important, so they get enough guides. So they get, in the renewal kit, they get the number of guides that we think you have members. They get one service toolkit or service guide, and then 2 advisor guides or advisor toolkits. If your materials do not come at the beginning of the year, because there tends to be a delay between the Kiwanis Club paying the fee and then it getting shipped to you, you can always access these online and download digital versions of them and print. Like as an advisor, I would go and I would print multiple of the fundraising plan forms, for instance, because that's in the service toolkit, but you only get one of those. So but when you have it physically, you can photocopy it, right? But that's what I would do, or I might send it to my members digitally so they could fill it out.
So
Yes.
the initial kit, is that sent to the school or is that sent to the Kiwanis Club?
It is sent to whatever address the Kiwanis Club secretary provides. Some clubs, some sponsoring Kiwanis clubs prefers that all of the kits get sent to them and then they deliver it. So we've been encouraging in our communication, and it's really up to people to read our emails. We send at the end of July, we send the Kiwanis secretaries an email that says, here is how you order kits. And if you do not enter a member count or you pay by check, I mean, it gives them all the details, and we encourage, and then we send a complimentary one to the teacher, to the faculty advisor. One of the issues is our emails get caught up in spam filters in school districts. And also at the beginning of the school year, faculty, especially teachers, have a lot to do, right? So they may miss emails. But we also send those emails to Kiwanis advisors. So the communication between the Kiwanis advisor can really help support the process and get the information to the Kiwanis secretary so that those materials get sent out as quickly as possible. Is that helpful? Yes, Sue.
I just want a quick question on the annual report. It says to upload at least one example of a completed activity, like in each guide. So what would you do for that? What would you upload? Just say this is what we did, just write it out?
You would ask a member for their member handbook if you've done if they did an activity that was about their talents, and you would photocopy that and then and add it as a digital document. You would photocopy, you'd copy or take a digital copy of one completed fundraising plan, for instance, from the service guide. That's a little different because if you'll want to reuse that probably. So you would, you'd take a photo, you'd make a photocopy, you'd use it for that activity, you have it completed, and then it would be scanned by the advisor and uploaded.
Okay, thank you.
And honestly, we look for stories to tell about clubs in our for our newsletters to show the good work that you do. We just don't receive a lot of annual achievement reports. Lisa could speak more to that. But we would love to share your stories. We'd love to understand what's going on in clubs. And we'd love for you to put your students to work collecting these things, for instance. It teaches them a lot of skills. Not all service is doing the actual hands-on service. A lot of it's doing the planning, right? And then doing the thank yous afterwards and the assessment, what didn't work. So we try to encourage the idea, the 4 steps of service with the materials. So, and I'm sorry, we have a few other things to talk about, and I've been talking for a while about this. Jim, if anyone doesn't have questions, I'll move on to the next few things.
Sure.
Awesome. So
I think we might move on. We'll come back if there's some questions. We want to get your other information. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, great. I'm going to show you on the website where you can find information about the advisor events. We have chats or webinars a couple times a semester for advisors, and they're under different topics. We really encourage you. You've had kind of a quick intro to the awards and contests, but for more detail, we encourage you to attend February's awards and contests advisor chat. We'll have one for K-Kids and one for Builders Club, and let me show you where you can find the chats. If you go to the K-Kids website and click on lead, there's a white navigation bar that pops up underneath it. You click on advisors. This page has most anything the advisors can use, tools, all of the program kit materials that are in those renewal kits or the charter kits are listed, and you can get to digital versions of them right here, except for the buttons, right? So you can click on it, click on one of these links and get to the digital version of it. Below that is online advisor training. So the upcoming webinar is Get Ready for Awards and Contests on February 13th, and Builders Club is on February 14th. And you can register right here. This information will also be in an email that you should be getting if you haven't already received it. Sorry. And then there's a wrap up and preparing for next year in April. And a new thing that we're starting this year are office hours, where we don't have an agenda, we don't have a presentation, and we're just there to answer questions or talk about your club. Or so we'd love for advisors to join us for office hours. We're combining K-Kids and Builders Club, and we have two dates set, March 5th and May 1st, and that's also on the advisor page. I took you to the K-Kids website, but the Builders Club website's the same thing. You go to buildersclub.org, you click on lead, you click on advisors, and you're on the same page. If you're interested in watching recordings of past trainings or chats, there's also, Lisa does a lot of work to get those up there, and so those are also there and available for you. So those are the events coming up, and I think Jim and Sue are sending out a follow-up to this, and it'll have links as well for registration. Two final things. We love, again, hearing your stories and feedback, and so the last couple of years we've been sending out advisor and member surveys. The advisor survey only at the end of the year, and the member surveys at the beginning and end of the year. If any of you have filled those out, had your members fill those out, thank you so much. This is probably something Kiwanis advisors could help with, help kind of putting it in on the radar if faculty advisors aren't kind of getting to or receiving their emails. This year, the end of year surveys will open March 15th and close April 30th. We really need data to understand what members want from their experience, what they're learning, what they, what social issues or community needs they're interested in. And we would really love to hear back from you all as advisors. We've included really basic information, kind of ask for basic feedback on all the materials in these surveys, just to get kind of a basic sense of what members are thinking. So it is interesting a little bit to compare some of the feedback from advisors with the feedback from members on, there's only a few similar questions, but you'd be surprised what you think the community needs are that they're interested in aren't necessarily the community needs they're interested in. But one of the takeaways, for instance, that we learned from our surveys the last couple of years is that collaboration and teamwork for both K-Kids and Builders Club, from both advisors and members' perspectives, is one of the highest skills that they learn at being a part of our clubs. So that's important and great to know and something to share. So we will be holding in June, we'll be holding a webinar with our district administrators to share feedback from the end of year surveys. And we will share that with faculty and Kiwanis advisors at the beginning of next school year. Finally, the last thing, next year, we are, in the next month, please, faculty advisors only, please watch for an invitation email. If you would like to apply to be on a K-Kids or Builders Club Advisory Council, the requirement is that you have to have been using the materials. There's a few purposes for the council, but one of them is to get specific feedback on the activities and on both the advisor kind of materials, the activities in the service kit and in the member and officer kit, toolkits or guides, so that we can refresh them again, revise them again when it comes time. And that will be in 2 years. It takes a while. So we want specific feedback. We also want to hear from you on a number of different things, like what would you be interested in trainings or conversations to be around? What other resources could you use that we could put online, and a number of other questions. So it will be a commitment of 4 meetings, and you could get professional development hours. We're going to provide letters that show how many hours you've spent doing that work with us. So that's what I have for updates.
That's a lot of information, but and it was a short period of time. If we have questions, you know, and wanted to get a little more information from you, I know I see you have your office hours, and I think that's coming up, what, March 15th? But could we just call and get some updates from you guys? Are you pretty much available, or are there certain times to reach you?
Talking to you all is the best part of our day. Sometimes you won't find us necessarily easy. It will be easier to set up a time for you to just email us and let us know when you're available so that we can be available for you rather than, calling our office. So I'm going to put our email addresses in the chat.
Okay.
And
Sounds
Sue and Jim have our email addresses, and it's really it's nice to meet you all, and thank you so much for your patience with my sound issue.
Well, appreciate having you on. I'm going to turn to Sue just quickly to see if there's, I want to open it up for questions and comments, but maybe you have some comments right off the bat.
I just want to thank Luana and Lisa for coming. This is really quite amazing to have these guys here. So we're very fortunate. We will be getting all this put down and send you all the links and all the information from Luana. So you're going to have lots of information coming your way.
And we have a little bit of time here, maybe not a lot, but if we'll stay on, at least the leaders here. If you have some questions, we can certainly talk. I know there's a couple people that are brand new to Builders Club, K-Kids Club, and we'd love to answer your questions. We kind of got into the graduate level course there for a moment, but not really. I think it's all good. So otherwise we can wrap up for those that need to get going.
Rachel, do you have time to stay on a few minutes?
I can stay on, yes.
Okay, just like to get to know you a little bit since you're brand new.
Sure.
And anybody else that wants to stay on. So I think we'll go ahead and adjourn, and those that need to run can. Some of us will just hang on for a few more minutes. And I want to again thank Luana and Lisa for sharing your information with us. This is we feel pretty privileged to get the direct pipeline right from Indianapolis right to us. So thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you,
for-
everyone, and please do reach out if you have any questions or just want to, run some things by us and share your stories.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks
Have
for
a good
having us.
evening.
You betcha.
And Lisa, I hate to make you stay on too much longer. Lisa, for
Oh.
Patrick. Oh my gosh, I can't even
I'm gonna
talk.
stop. I'm gonna stop the recording though. So
There
Yes.
you go.